Hi everyone. This video is an instructional video that will show you how to go from your Zoom meeting or your Zoom worship, in our case, to Facebook Live. To set it up ahead of time so that it is scheduled on Facebook and your Facebook page members can see that you will be going live for worship at a particular time. Also, when you are in your Zoom meeting, you will be able to just with a click of a button go to Facebook Live and then be broadcasting on both platforms at the same time. So what you're looking at right now is the Zoom interface, the actual web page of Zoom. So as you can see on the top here, it is zoom.us.us, and I'm in my meetings section. One of the things that I need to mention is that you cannot do this with a free copy of Zoom. You do need to at least be at the lowest level, which is called the Pro level. So you do need a paid version of Zoom before you can do this. It is important to understand that going live on any platform has to be set up within your settings first. So if you go and hit Settings on the left-hand nav bar and in Meeting Advanced, we'll scroll down for a little bit and you will see this area that says Allow live streaming meetings. There are 4 different ways that you can go live from Facebook. You can go live on Zoom, either Facebook, Workplace by Facebook, YouTube, or custom live streaming. You can click all of them, it doesn't matter. But the one that is going to be important for us is custom live streaming service, because that allows us to set up the Facebook live stream in advance. So that's the one that you'll want to make sure that you click before we start this process. So when you go to your meetings page, over here, you can schedule a meeting, as you can see in the top right-hand corner, and I'm going to start doing that. Now, I'm going to set up our worship meeting for next week. So that's for the Creskill UCC virtual worship on January 31st, 2021. That's all I will put in here. That's what I kind of usually do. Now, that is going to be on the 31st. It's going to be at 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. And I usually schedule for an hour and a half. Actually, I like to go 15 minutes ahead of time so that folks have the opportunity to join a little bit earlier and speak to one another. So it's going to be at 9:45. Then I'm going to open Zoom. All right, a lot of these settings are already set for me. My meeting ID, I generate that, each have that auto-generated each week. It generates the passcode. I have people go into a waiting room and then I admit them to the waiting room so we don't have any kind of unwanted Zoom bombers, perhaps. All right. Other meeting options that I use is I automatically record on the cloud each week so that we have a recording we can play back or modify, edit in any way for future viewing. So that's all I really need to do. If you've set up a Zoom meeting before, this is pretty easy. So I save, and there's my meeting. It's created the link And I'm set to go as far as the meeting is concerned. However, now I want to link this meeting with Facebook Live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Facebook over here, assuming that you have a group that you manage. In this case, it's the Crestkill Congregational Church. You go to that group. And then over here, underneath Create a Post, you will see Create Live. So when I click on that, it brings you into what's called the Live Producer. All right. You have the option of going live immediately. We have an option of scheduling a live video. So since this is going to be for the future, I'm going to schedule the live video. All right. First thing that I will do is select the date. Now, just so that you know, you can only select a time that is 10 minutes out and up to, I think, about a week to 10 days out. You can't go beyond that. So that there are limitations as to when you can do this. So we're going to use January 31st, which is next week, and I am going to put it at 10 a.m. So quickly find 10 a.m. because that's when the actual church service will start. Even though I'm allowing folks to join Zoom earlier, I want to go live on Facebook at 10 o'clock. Okay. So post to a page that you manage. That's the church page. And then I'm going to give a title. So it's going to be Crestkill UCC Virtual Worship for 1/31/2021. Actually, I can use slashes for clarity here. Right. Okay. Say something about the video. So this is going to be the fourth Sunday after Epiphany. I don't know if you have been paying attention to what's going on the right-hand side of the screen, but this is a preview of the announcement. See, this is what I've just typed in, and it says it's for January 31st at 10 a.m. But that's kind of the standard picture that comes up, and I don't like that picture. I'm going to be more specific to the event or the worship for next week. So I'm going to select an image, and I got one prepared on my desktop. I like that image. Crestkill UCC welcomes you. So you see now that image has populated. Okay. So all of this is now set up, and I can schedule the live video. So we'll wait for a moment, and there you see it says that my live video has been scheduled successfully for January 31st at 10 o'clock. Wonderful. Now, this is the part where we kind of link the two together. So in all of this stuff over here, you can see that there's several different URLs, right? And each of them have a significance. So I'm going to go back to Zoom for a moment. Go back. This is the invitation, or I should say the meeting that we scheduled. On the bottom of this meeting, it says live streaming. And I'm going to use configure live stream settings. All right, so click on that, and it gives add live stream service. First thing it's looking for is the stream URL. And you can ignore the one password thing. That's only on my computer. But if I go back to that Facebook page, this server URL is what they're looking for there. It very often starts with an RTMPS, right? So you copy that, go back to Zoom, paste it in there, all right? Next, it's looking for the stream key. All right, stream key, right over here. It's very long, so it's a good thing that they have these copy buttons. You take that, paste that in there, move on to the next one, which is a live streaming page URL. On basically 4 groups, they have created a separate live page. And as you can see, it says Crest Hill UCC/live, right? So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to put that in the live streaming page URL, right? Now I've got all 3 filled out. I'm going to save, ignore my 1 password things. And this portion now of custom live streaming is all filled out. And if you want to see that long stream key, you can unhide it or hide it again. Actually, what I often do is I double check it. So I look at the end of it. It says 8MT-P. I go back to Facebook and I look at the stream key and I go to the end here. And indeed, 8MT-P. So I know at this point that I'm pretty confident that I've copied everything correctly and I've put it into this area of my meeting. So now we're going to actually go live. But since I just set up a church service for next week, what I'm going to do instead is use something I pre-set up. So if I go into my meetings, you'll see there was today's meeting. That's already done. I set up a Zoom test meeting, which is scheduled for now. And I set up the virtual worship for next week. This is what we just did, right? I should also point out that you can copy your invitation information either from here or from the web page that we were just on, and you can always throw that into an email like that and send it off to anybody that needs that information to post either on a website or in an email, etc. But I'm going to go back to here. And we're actually going to use this Zoom test meeting, which is for now, and I'll show you how it is that you go live when you're in a Zoom meeting. So let's start this meeting. And there you see me. Okay. So we're in a meeting. Obviously, there's nobody else here with me. However, I want to show you a couple of things before I go live onto Facebook. Over here in this more section with the 3 little dots, if you click that, that's where you have live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on custom live streaming, which is what we are going to do. Okay, but before we do that, I'm going to share my screen, and I set this up ahead of time so that when I go live, folks don't have a big expectation of what the live meeting is about, and they can see that it is a test. Okay, and there you go. Here I am just in a little box on this corner, but mostly what folks are going to see on Facebook is this message that we're just conducting a brief test. Okay? All right, so going now, when When you share on Facebook, those controls are actually on the top here. There you go. So that more with the 3 dots, there it is. Okay, so I am going to go live on custom streaming service. And you have to pause for a moment. It's preparing the live stream, as you can see. Okay, and now it's redirected it. Cool. And Facebook just came up. Now I'm back in Facebook, and you can see this is what I'm sharing. You see me here in the corner, as well as the screen share that I'm doing. So we're live on Facebook. This is basically where this particular video ends. I'm going to then show you here how to stop, and you can either end the meeting. When you end your meeting, it will end Facebook Live as well, or you can stop live stream separately. So I'm going to stop the live stream. I'm going to stop sharing. We're back down here and going down to ending the meeting for everyone. I wanted to insert a little extra information as far as sound is concerned. I know that doing music on Zoom can often be kind of awkward, and it doesn't come through well because Zoom is set up for meetings and conversation, and so it tends to reduce background noise. However, there are a couple of settings that are important in order to get the best music quality if you do music in your service. If you go, this is the Zoom interface. If you go to this gear over here for settings, go down to audio, all right? And the first thing that you have to uncheck, if it is checked, is this automatically adjust microphone volume, because again, it'll adjust the volume, and when you're doing music, you don't want it to adjust the volume for you. All right, so that's kind of an important thing to do. Then they've added this section here. It used to be set up differently, and in the advanced features. But for music and professional audio, you want to make sure that you've checked Show in Meeting option to enable original sound. All right, and as you see here, it says that this option automatically disables Zoom from doing any kind of noise suppression or removing high-pass filtering, etc. It basically allows what is coming through your speakers as being projected out. A couple of other options is high fidelity, music mode, stereo audio. These two I don't have checked because unless you're doing some really kind of fancy hi-fi kind of music, it's really not necessary. But echo cancellation, is necessary because this disables Zoom from kind of doing its echo algorithms, right? And when you're doing music, there are echoes there, and if it cancels it, the music is going to sound choppy. So you want echo cancellation on, you want show in meeting, the enable original sound on, and then you want to make sure that automatically adjust microphone volume is off. So those are my extra little tip on music settings for you. This is my first instructional video. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you very much.